We're less than 1 week away from the NFL Draft, and here we are talking about the NFL Draft. Hello, everyone. I'm Christopher Linfante here with my co-host Nick Sparber for this episode of the Goal Line Stance right before the NFL Draft. Nick, how are you doing today? We're T-minus 6 days away.
I'm doing good. I'm pretty excited about the draft coming up.
Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about today. Of course, the NFL Draft is the most exciting event of the offseason for any NFL fan, any NFL franchise. So today we're going to go over players, picks, potential picks, and of course, last year we had a one-round mock draft for the first round. We're going to do the same thing today. Nick, would you like to pick the starting with the number one player and then I go number two, or would you like to want me to go number one and then you go number two when we do that?
In the mock draft?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
All right, well, we'll think that when we get there. But first, I want to start off with the quarterback position. This year, to me, is not a very good quarterback year. I don't know what you're thinking on it, but right now, a lot of people have Kyler Murray as number one, Dwayne Haskins as number two. Nick, just what do you think of the quarterback class this year overall?
Quarterback class is definitely not as strong as it was last year.
No, last year was much better
class. And I think
class.
that a lot of teams are overrating some of them, especially Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
They're comparing him to like Russell Wilson, but he's a lot smaller than Russell Wilson. I just don't get what they see in this kid.
Well, here's the deal with Russell Wilson, though. Russell Wilson was a second-round pick.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, he turned out to be a very good player, but coming out of college, it's a difficult way.
Russell Wilson also now 5'9".
That's true.
He is a little bit taller than that.
Yeah, I'm basically the same height as Kyler Murray, and I can't be a quarterback in the high school level.
No.
So, but no, Kyler Murray I think is a fantastic athlete. I think he would be a good second-round pick, but as number one in the draft, I don't think he would make a very good decision. I mean, he might be a fantastic player, but to me, it's all about like where you value guys in the draft. What's the risk factor? Taking Kyler Murray at number one, major risk, especially if you're the Arizona Cardinals at number one, and you already have Josh Rosen,
who you spent your first-round pick on last year.
Right. Do you think that they would just be better off keeping Josh Rosen at this point than trying another quarterback?
If I was at number one, I would probably take Nick Bosa, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. He's the best player in this draft.
I would just roll the dice with Josh Rosen. He's more prototypical quarterback for the NFL.
Yeah. I would have no problem if you were like 3 years into the Josh Rosen era and you said this isn't working. You're 1 year in. Yeah. I mean, the Cardinals last year...
And they literally fired the first-year
head coach. They
fired
Steve Wilkes. I was going to say that.
Kingsbury. They're bringing him in. I don't know.
Steve Keim, I don't know if you know this, but in the offseason, I think, didn't he have a DUI charge last year or this year? Right? The GM. So I don't know what's going on in Arizona. But maybe they won't take Kyler Murray. We'll see. But who, other than Kyler Murray, is there anybody above Kyler Murray, you think, in this draft class? Like, who's the best quarterback in this class?
I think the best quarterback's Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah,
he's just the most
100% agree. 100%.
Quarterback. His skill set will play well in the NFL.
Dwayne Haskins is like, again, yeah, what you said, the prototypical passer. He's precise, he's accurate, he makes great decisions. Fantastic year at Ohio State, and a lot of people will say,
he's not athletic.
He's not athletic, right? Or he only played 1 year at Ohio State, but I mean, they had J.T. Barrett, their 4-year starter, that you can't blame them.
I'm gonna say it.
All right, what are you gonna say?
Everyone says, "Oh, Dwayne Haskins is not athletic." Who's the best quarterback in the league right now? Who'd you say? Who's the best quarterback of all time?
Joe Flacco?
Who's the best quarterback of all time, Chris?
Joe Flacco. Duh.
No, come on.
Okay, Tom Brady.
Can he run outside the pocket? No.
He's got 1,000 career rushing yards over 20 years. No, we don't. The NFL is, I think, too hung up on this idea of having like a super athletic quarterback, right? There's too many quarterbacks, and I'm not going to put Lamar Jackson down, but they come in with below average accuracy, right? That's almost all of them. Russell Wilson is a major exception. And they just don't pan out. Michael Vick, he wasn't the best passer in the world. He did a lot of good things on the ground, not the best passer. If you want a traditional offense that's going to work, you have to find a passer as your quarterback because you can get a running back who can run.
Yep.
It's not like you need your quarterback to run.
You need a quarterback to get the ball to your receivers.
And Kyler Murray is a fantastic passer. But, again, he is undersized. He's very athletic. But is he going to be able to make the same throws?
Look what he did at Oklahoma. He would drop back. If he doesn't see anyone, he's running away. He's not trying to outsmart the defense. And his throws were never really too accurate, to be honest with you.
No. And again, I think he could be a very good quarterback, but it's just too risky as a first-round pick.
No.
And number one, it's way too, especially
and
when
Nick
you have
Bosa just like so much more of an
Nick
upside.
Bosa is the best player in this draft by miles. I mean, there's nobody that compares. I mean, Quinnen Williams, right, the defensive tackle from Alabama is very good. But Nick Bosa is the best player in this draft. He's been the best player in this draft throughout the process.
Yep.
To pass up a generational talent at defensive end just to try another quarterback, it's just a bad move.
When you have Josh Rosen there,
Josh Rosen.
After 1 year, you're going to change the whole scheme up? I don't
You
get
can't
it.
fire. First of all, you shouldn't have fired your first coach to
After
begin
a
with.
year. What
Steve
did you
Wilkes.
expect?
That was dumb. That was. I feel bad for the guy. He didn't get a chance, right? You know, you bring in Cliff Kingsbury, who I think we all know
he did
one thing. Problems.
One thing in his career, and was produce Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but who was more?
Andy Reid did more.
Andy Reid did more for Pat Mahomes. I mean, I can't prove it, but in my opinion, you can prove it.
Cliff Kingsbury is a bum.
Okay, well, we'll get to your rant at the end of the show. Don't worry.
He's got a losing record at Texas Tech.
That is true. I mean, I don't know if it's a losing record or like a slightly above 500 or 500 record, but he never did very well at Texas Tech. And he was friends with Sean McVay.
Another Sean McVay.
Yeah. But not to stick on this Kyler Murray, situation this whole time. What about Daniel Jones? I hear a lot of talk about maybe him going to the Giants, which obviously you're a fan of the Giants for now. The Odell trade maybe have set that up. But do you think Daniel Jones is really a first-round talent? I mean, a lot of guys, including myself as an analyst here, I would place him more in the third round than the first round.
I just think he's a first-round talent because he's one of the best quarterbacks in the draft.
And the best quarterbacks are always a first-round.
Yeah, obviously. And he's... Because there's not really much quarterbacks in this draft that really compare.
I mean, Drew Lock is another guy, but I'm not super high on him. I don't know a whole lot about him.
There's not real franchise-setting quarterbacks.
The only franchise quarterback I think in this draft, like a surefire franchise guy, I think is Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, definitely.
I think Kyler Murray could be, but he's too risky. I think everybody else is mediocre at best.
If there is... The only reason I would think of Daniel Jones becoming a Giant is that they like how he compares to Eli Manning. Yeah. And Giants are very old school. They like the big quarterback.
Well, he's 6'5", 221.
Yeah,
I mean,
big arm. Will sit in the pocket, read his progressions, and make an accurate throw.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? Maybe Drew Lock.
Yeah,
I mean, none of these other guys really stand out to me, in all honesty. Nobody else screams, draft me.
To be honest, if Daniel Jones was all that good, he wouldn't have gone to Duke.
I don't know. You can't really. Some players just develop way more in college than they would have in high school, right? Tom Brady went to Michigan. It's not like he's going to Alabama.
Michigan's a good school.
Yeah. Flacco went to Delaware, had 11 years with the Ravens. Russell Wilson went to NC State before he went to Wisconsin for his final year. So, I mean, you can't judge basically where they're coming from. Well, I mean, Eli Manning came from Ole Miss, and they're never that good either.
Ole Miss was good back in the day.
Back in the day, okay. Moving on from the quarterback position, maybe we'll just touch on some of these defensive linemen early in the draft, because if you look at, let's say...
It is flooded, this draft.
This is huge. You got Nick Bosa, Quinnen Williams, Josh Allen, Christian Wilkins, Ed Oliver, Rashawn Gary, Montez Sweat. These are all guys who are probably going to go within the top 15. Then you've got guys, interior guys like Devin Bush.
Then you got Clelin Ferrell.
A guy who's been linked to the Ravens a lot recently. This is a very good... Brian Burns. This is a very good, defensive line class.
And they have a lot of good linebackers in there too.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very good. I think this is a much better defensive class than offensive. Except for I think the wide receiver is stacked this year.
There's only a couple, I think, in there.
At wide receiver?
There's Metcalf.
All right, we'll get to them after defensive end here. I'm sorry, defensive line. But is there any defensive lineman you really like in this class, above the rest? Because they're all really good. And I know you're probably going to say Nick Bosa, right? But let's leave Nick Bosa out of this for a little bit.
Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
He's a beast.
Yeah. I like Quinnen Williams. I like Christian Wilkins. I think is a big body who can be a very good guy in the middle.
Josh Allen's an absolute stud.
From Kentucky, right? Yeah, he's very good. Ed Oliver, it seems like he's slipping in this draft class here based on mock drafts recently, but I think he's a very good talent, interior defensive lineman.
Everyone's saying that Ed Oliver's a little small, but...
who cares? He's productive.
Yeah. Aaron Donald's not that big anyway, and look at him.
Yeah. You gotta find the guys who break the mold and just produce no matter what their size is.
Yep.
So, especially this position.
As long as he gets to the quarterback, who cares?
If you can get to the quarterback consistently, I don't care how big or how small you are. If you can take him down, you're on my team. Moving on to wide receiver, though, you like Metcalf. Is that fair to say?
Kind of. He's big. Just throw the ball up there. He's gonna go get it.
Yeah, Metcalf is huge. He's fast. He's picture was going around of him.
He's I don't know how to say. He's a freak of nature.
That's what I called him, a freak of nature, actually.
Athletically,
But the problem, I think, with him is his injury history. He's had a lot of injuries, missed a lot of games at Ole Miss. His counterpart, A.J. Brown, not so much. He's played a lot more. He's been more productive. But he's not the athletically gifted person that DK Metcalf is. Now, if you're a team evaluating and you're looking for a number one wide receiver, and you have the choice between DK Metcalf or, let's say, A.J. Brown or N'Keal Harry, somebody who, has maybe a little bit of different skill set, but is always on the field, never really has an injury history, and no drop problems. DK Metcalf has drop problems. Is the talent and the athletic ability of DK Metcalf alone worth taking the risk above other guys, or should we be looking for guys who are more safe for a number one wide receiver?
If I'm looking, I don't know. If I was looking for I think you could teach Metcalf how to catch better, but you can never teach the speed, the size, the athleticism.
That's true.
That Metcalf brings to the table. So that's why I would take Metcalf first, just because you could try and teach him how to catch a ball better.
Yeah, I wouldn't take him first, and just because, you can teach a guy to catch better, but at the same time, a lot of guys just aren't able to do it. It's possible, but no, I mean, if I want to, I hate to always bring up the Ravens in this podcast, but if we look at Rashad Perryman, super fast, down the field threat, couldn't catch a ball. He just couldn't do it. It was a huge problem. They never were able to fix it. Even though we were constantly told he was getting better, he just never was able to do it. It's concerning when a wide receiver whose number one job, to me at least, is to catch the football, has problems with that. If you can't always catch the football, and I'm not talking about the pass is broken up or you're in super coverage. If you're
wide open,
and you drop it, I don't think I can take you in the first round. I can't do it. I'm too scared to do it. That's why I think N'Keal Harry is my number one wide receiver right now. He reminds me a lot of Anquan Boldin. Yeah, just physical guy, catches everything that comes to him. Yeah. What do you think about the secondary class? Anything spectacular? I like Greedy Williams as a coverage corner. I think he's probably the best corner in this draft. But you've also got guys like Nasser Adderley.
Yeah, there's a good safeties in the draft, such as Chauncey Gardner. Yeah,
I'm not sure where he'll go, but I know Taylor Rapp from Washington is a guy who might creep into the early second, maybe even late first round. Who knows? It's not. I don't think it's as good of a class for secondary
than it is for
defensive linemen, but there are some good players in here, especially at the top. Okay. Let's go into team needs now. Starting off, maybe we should just head over to the New England Patriots, obviously, right? The Super Bowl winners, do they have any needs specifically? Should they be looking for a quarterback?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. Tom Brady might play forever. Who knows? But
Tom Brady will be 67
they might take quarterback in the second round. Who knows? But I think they're gonna they'll probably take an offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman always helps
protect Tom Brady.
They could go after a guy like Noah Fant too, since Gronk is out. Forever now. Yeah,
they are the 32nd pick, so who knows?
I think they'll look for a quarterback maybe in the third or fourth round, but they're not going to go spend a first round. Exactly. They never spend a first round on anybody. So, Dolphins going down this AFC East here. I don't know what's going on there. They have Fitzpatrick now as quarterback. They're completely tanking. They need basically everything across the board here. They'll probably go for a quarterback.
Or what pick did the Dolphins have?
The Dolphins currently have, I believe, let me see. It is Miami. I have no idea. I don't see them on here.
Do they have
20. I have them at 21 for some reason. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Not 21. 13. They're at 13.
So I think at 13, if the Giants take Haskins, they're just going to take the best player available. Because, I don't know. They need everything.
It's not a great quarterback class, so it's not like you're going to find...
It's not what the QB class is going to be like next year.
They almost got Teddy Bridgewater this offseason.
Yeah.
They tried to get him, but he wasn't. I think quarterback's probably the number one need. Maybe they'll go for like Josh Jacobs, the running back, because they don't have J.J. anymore. They just Kenyon Drake's the running back, I think, right now. So they're gonna have to address that soon. Moving on, what about the Buffalo Bills? They're a team that's becoming interesting now. They made a lot of offseason moves. We talked about it in our last podcast. I think they probably go defense here because they addressed offense really well in the free agency. Maybe they have a high draft pick. Maybe they grab one of these defensive linemen, or edge rushers. Maybe Ed Oliver would make sense for them. Yeah. Jets,
The Jets could probably use offensive line help.
Yeah, protect Sam Darnold. You got Le'Veon Bell there now. They just signed
either
Ty
side of the
Montgomery,
ball
too.
on the line, they could really use some help.
Yeah. Both the lines they have a high draft pick. I think they're 3, actually.
Yeah, 3.
I mean, I'm
going to be honest. I think they'll probably go D-line just because.
Quinn Williams, you would think then? If he's there.
If he's there, probably.
Because the Niners could draft him, too.
Yeah, but I think the Jets are going to take Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, okay. The edge rusher.
Yeah.
I could definitely see it. I think defensive line would be just a good pick overall for them. Yeah. In all honesty, it's a solid way to go.
It's just flooded with great talent.
There's just too many good talents in this draft class.
You can't waste a third overall pick for like a guy like Jawan Taylor.
Especially when you're up there. I mean, if you were down in the 20s.
Yeah, then okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's also a deep class too.
Yeah.
So you could trade back and get some players in the later rounds too. But being up there with all those great players, I mean, why not just take one? Even if you don't need one, just take one because there's too many of them. Baltimore Ravens. This is my team. I'd say wide receiver, hands down, most important. We don't have a number 1 wide receiver. Our best wide receiver is Willie Snead. Second best is Seth Roberts, who only had 400 yards last year. So we need a wide receiver. That's about it. Guard maybe. And I could also see them picking edge rusher because Terrell Suggs is gone. Zadarius Smith is gone. You got any comments on the Ravens or?
I think wide receiver or linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker. Inside linebacker too. C.J. Mosley's gone.
Maybe Devin White.
Devin White is a guy I've seen linked to them. Pittsburgh Steelers. They need a lot of help. Remember last year I made that comment that they were kind of like falling down? Yeah, they're definitely falling now.
Yeah. I think they'll just go defense.
I think it's defense. Their defense isn't very good. Maybe cornerback.
Yeah, corner,
Joe Hayden's
safety.
getting really old now at this point. Rockison is a guy that could come in from Temple and do some damage. If the guy we were just talking about, Greedy Williams, is available, I could see them going for him. Cleveland Browns, not a whole lot of needs anymore for Cleveland. They're going to be their year, it looks like.
Maybe they'll just go offensive line, protect Baker Mayfield.
It probably will be offensive line.
And Nick Chubb. Give him some more space.
And Kareem Hunt now. I mean, he probably won't play at all. He'll probably be cut by the end of the training camp.
And give OBJ and Jarvis Landry a chance to get open.
Yeah. Maybe they'll draft a safety now that Jabril Peppers is gone, though. Could it be Nasser Adderley?
Maybe.
I mean, we'll have to see how that pans out. Cincinnati Bengals. I think they actually might go for a quarterback over Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
Andy Dalton has no guaranteed money left on his contract. They could cut him and save everything.
He is winding down.
He was never really that great. I can definitely see it. Maybe Drew Lock is in the future. Yeah, but other than that, I mean, they have too many needs, really. Defense, linebacker, everything.
Who knows? Everything under the sun.
I mean, they're just not a good team right now. Houston Texans, they won the division last year. They don't really have a whole lot of needs. In all honesty, they've got a good quarterback, good wide receivers, good running back in Lamar Miller.
Well, if Clowney decides to hold out, there might be a problem.
That's true. He didn't show up to workouts yet, right? No. So maybe edge rusher is something.
And then maybe if they draft one of these guys and then trade Clowney. Who knows?
Oh, trading Clowney, I don't know about that, but it's definitely possible, especially with the precedent of Le'Veon Bell now that happened last year. I mean, they're not playing around with these holdouts anymore. They're not going to play if you don't pay them. So I could definitely see them going for an edge rusher if they don't think they're going to get Clowney back. But right away, they're going to try to get Clowney first here. After them, you have the Indianapolis Colts. The really surprise of the season last year. Started off terribly, but then came back and made the playoffs. Not a team with a lot of needs.
I think they'll probably go defense, strengthen that up a little bit more.
Because last year they really beefed up that offensive line with Quentin Nelson. Defense would probably be the best pick for them. Maybe they bring in a running back too to pair with I forget Marlon Mack over there. Maybe Josh Jacobs. I thought they would go for Le'Veon Bell in the offseason. But
maybe even a wide receiver. Who knows?
Yeah, pair with T.Y. Hilton, a wide receiver, a good one. Definitely. Tennessee Titans. a team that's kind of been on the edge of greatness for the past few years. They made the playoffs, I think, in 2017, if I remember correctly. Always close, but they haven't really made it to, the big time.
I just think that there's so many good defensive players that they're going to take a defensive player.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to take a defensive player in this first round. But are they getting ready to move on from Marcus Mariota, though? I don't think they should. I
don't think they should.
But there's rumblings coming out that they might want to soon. And I mean, they traded for Tannehill, but no one really cares about Tannehill. No. Not in this class, at least. Maybe they're going to... Should they tank for Tua? No.
I don't know. Someone's got to be thinking about it.
They probably would have went for a running back, too, if Derrick Henry didn't break out last year.
Yeah.
Especially the end of the year, that monster game. Remember that?
Yeah, that was crazy.
The 99-yard rush. I mean, he just, pounded his way through that. That was amazing. Yeah, so they'll probably go defense. Defensive line, I think that's been linked to them as well. Mm-hmm. Jacksonville Jaguars, they got their quarterback. At least they think. I know you didn't think so. Nick Foles. I could definitely see them going defense, but I could see them going maybe tackle. Jawan Taylor from Florida would be a major option.
I think they might need a wide receiver, too.
Yes, they don't really have wide receivers. Maybe they go DK Metcalf.
Yep.
They don't need a running back. They've got Leonard Fournette. Yep. There's no problem there. At least not for the time being. I think he was arrested, though.
Was he?
I think it was for a speeding ticket, though. That's what it came out to be. So it's not, anything crazy. But yeah, I could definitely see them going wide receiver or tackle, something to help Nick Foles out. That's probably what they want to do first.
Yeah, definitely.
They paid him a lot of money, so they want to help him. Kansas City Chiefs. They're a team that won on offense and offense alone.
Yeah, they're going.
They lost. They could go defense, but at the same time, no Kareem Hunt anymore.
Yeah, but I don't think there's a first-round running back that they should take right.
Do you think Josh Jacobs is a first-rounder, or is he more of a second-rounder?
Maybe a late first-rounder, so
yeah,
possibly they take him.
Yeah, but the defense needs help.
They lost D Ford.
They lost Justin Houston. An edge rusher could be huge. Maybe this is Montez Sweat's landing spot.
Might be.
Not really wild on Montez Sweat, but...
I don't know if he's going to fall that far.
Maybe. What pick do they have?
They're 26 or something.
Let's find out here. Yeah, it's got to be... Oh, it's got to be 28, right? Because they were in the AFC Championship game. Yeah, they're 29. They're 29, so...
Yeah. I don't know if Sweat will fall that far.
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe that's Clelin Ferrell's spot. Who knows? But moving on now, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers, who finally made the playoffs after all these off seasons of they're going to make the playoffs and they didn't. They're going to make the playoffs and they didn't.
They got slapped by Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Yes, they did end up getting slapped by him. They don't really have a lot of... I mean, there's a lot of teams on here that I don't really feel like have a whole lot of needs. Maybe it's an offensive line here?
They might be chirpings. I've been hearing chirpings about them thinking of
quarterback?
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I've heard that too. But is there a quarterback in this class that really...
Maybe if they want to take the gamble on Daniel Jones if he falls.
Ooh, interesting. Could definitely see that. Yeah, put him behind Phillip Rivers for 1 or 2 years.
See what happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's very possible. Aside from quarterback, though, they're a very good team.
Yeah.
They really have no holes.
Especially with Mike Williams coming back off the
ACL. Yeah. Maybe they'll go wide receiver too. I mean, who knows?
I don't know. They got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
Yeah, but they both didn't they lose somebody?
Possibly.
Tight end. Yes, it could be Noah Fant, maybe T.J. Hawkinson, because they only had Antonio Gates last year, right?
Their defense, their edge rushers are crazy with Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa.
What if they drafted Nick Bosa? They trade up to get Nick Bosa. Both Bosa brothers on either end. That'd be scary. Get some sibling telecommunication going on.
They're a good team.
Yeah, and they drafted Derwin James last year.
That was a steal at the 17th pick.
I thought for sure the Ravens would get him.
I remember we were having him top 10 pick.
Yeah, and he just kept falling. I'm like, what's going on? And then the Ravens didn't take him, and I was upset.
How did that tight end work out for them?
Not great. He was injured for half the year. And you called it too. You were on this show and you said it was gonna be Hayden Hurst. I'm like, I don't know about that, but you called it. Denver Broncos.
They might be thinking about past Joe Flacco.
Well, obviously, I think Elway said that he wasn't planning on drafting a quarterback, but you can't take that. I mean, we didn't trade Odell Beckham. We didn't draft.
I said Odell Beckham's getting traded.
Yeah,
it's not happening, but who knows?
Listen,
this league's been crazier.
I think that they definitely could go quarterback, but maybe they go tight end. I've heard tight end a lot with them.
Ever since Julius Thomas left, they've been scrambling at the tight end position.
I could definitely see that. And Joe Flacco loves his tight ends. Maybe they want to give him a real year as a shot as a quarterback. Maybe they
could always fill another hole on defense.
Yeah.
Secondary help.
Yeah.
Especially with Aqib Talib's leaving.
Maybe Greedy Williams is a good player here. Rocky Sin. Maybe even Nasser Adderley, right? Out of safety. Oakland Raiders. They've had an interesting offseason.
I'd go defense with the Raiders.
I would go defense too. I've heard rumblings that they want to trade up for Kyler Murray. That's what I've heard. But
what are they going to do with that salary of Derek Carr?
I heard that one theory I heard was they were going to trade up for Kyler Murray and trade Derek Carr to the Giants.
I'll take Derek Carr.
Yeah, I mean, I would too if I was you. That's what I've heard. I don't know how true it is. What any
trade up to 6 to try and get Murray though.
No, they would trade up to number 1 with the Cardinals. Was the theory.
Oh, okay.
And they would trade. Yeah. Kind of like what the Chargers and Giants did when they had Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning. They draft each other and then just trade them. Moving on to the NFC, your favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys. What do they need?
Cowboys.
They don't have a first-round pick though. They had Amari Cooper.
They need. I don't know. They have a pretty good team.
They do.
Maybe a second-round wide receiver to pair with Amari Cooper since they lost Cole Beasley in free agency.
I could see that. Slot guy. Someone like Andy Isabella is a name that's going around as a slot guy in the later rounds. Maybe a corner.
Yeah,
maybe an inside linebacker.
They have a good defensive line.
Yeah.
So I think they'll probably go secondary into the second round.
Do you think they make, just off of what we know now, do you think they make the playoffs again?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I was surprised that they did last year.
NFC is kind of weak.
They did, yeah. Eagles, what about them? What do they need? Anything major?
No. Maybe defensive line, losing Michael Bennett.
Yeah, I can see it. That defensive line was supposed to be really good last year, but yeah, I could see defensive line. They made the playoffs in 9-7, so they're going to be in the later round of the draft, but I could definitely see defensive line. That would be a good pick.
A receiver because Jeffrey's getting an.
But they got Deshaun Jackson, but he's older now.
He's old.
Maybe they pair him with DK Metcalf.
Oh, jeez. I don't want to hear that.
Tearing up the Giants secondary.
Not that.
Speaking of tearing up the Giants secondary, Case Keenum and the Washington Redskins are coming into the season.
About that guy.
Do they go for a quarterback?
Yeah,
Washington Redskins?
I think so. I think they might trade for Josh Rosen.
That's what I'm thinking. I think that it could be Drew Lock too. It could be a lot of guys.
I don't know.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, they do need some other help in other areas. I think number one, wide receiver is a huge need for them. They don't really have wide
lost
receivers.
Crowder to the
Crowder's gone. I mean, they're pretty barren in that area. Tight end could be. Any receiver would help. Linebacker. Yeah, they wanted C.J. Mosley, couldn't get him. I don't know if they have Zach.
Their secondary got better this year.
Zach Brown.
With Landon Collins.
Oh, yeah.
They signed him for a
crazy
amount of money.
That was too much. But maybe they go with a cornerback to pair him with? Who knows?
Norman?
Well, I heard Norman might be on the way out because he hasn't really lived up to that contract.
Well, that's too bad for them.
Yeah, more easy time for you. New York Giants. What do you think? I'll leave this completely to you here.
Either they draft Eli's replacement at 6, or they're drafting a defensive lineman at 6. Because they could use both.
Yeah.
And at 17, they're going to go offense. They'll probably take a receiver.
Okay. Do you think it would be Metcalf if available?
Yes.
Okay. So they wouldn't want to go for like...
I think it would be Metcalf because he's just a stud.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of receivers in this draft I think that are really good, but Metcalf, the athletic ability he brings, the speed, the size, the everything. May not pan out, but it might be worth a shot. If you're the Giants and you have nothing to lose,
high risk, high reward with that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Pair him with Haskins, maybe.
Oh,
see what happens. And
trio,
Golden Tate and
Sterling Shepard.
Maybe you don't need Odell Beckham anymore.
I don't know.
Now it's getting interesting. So
Saquon Barkley. Giants are going to the playoffs.
Could you imagine they go to the playoffs next year without Odell Beckham?
No way.
I
really think the Giants should draft defense though.
Yeah, I think it would be smart. But maybe Haskins falls to 17.
I don't know. If he falls past
maybe they draft Haskins and then they trade up like to 8 or 9
and draft someone else.
Draft defense.
That I'd be okay with.
Yeah, they just spend like a 3rd round pick on that.
Yeah, they have 12 picks in the draft, so who knows?
They got a lot of capital. They got a lot of
draft capital to try and trade up, move around the draft board.
Yep.
And make good picks, hopefully.
All right, moving on to the next division, Chicago Bears. The Bears. It's tough for me on this one. They traded Jordan Howard, right? But they got Tariq Cohen, but he's not like a number one.
No.
He's more of a receiver.
Tariq Cohen playing a whole entire year might
This
get
could be
hurt.
Josh Jacobs, because this is, or maybe Damian Harris, a third-round guy who's a power back out of Alabama. Obviously, the quarterback.
I really don't get that trade of Jordan Howard for the Bears.
He just wasn't doing a whole lot for them. They felt like they had a lot with Tariq Cohen, and they maybe could get another guy as a power back. Mitchell Trubisky, I think, liked Tariq Cohen better just because he could throw to him.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to give him more playing
Trubisky took
time.
a step last year.
Trubisky took a major step. He's going to be very good. I thought he was going to be a bust. He's going to be very good. But yeah, I can see running back. I could see defense because they're just trying to build that defense again. They're just trying to have an excellent defense. I could definitely see that. They lost Adrian Amos, though, so maybe this is Nasser Adderley's spot to go. Minnesota Vikings, really disappointing year last year. They thought they had their quarterback. Kirk Cousins just kind of sucked some money out of the situation there. They just re-signed Adam Thielen. Did you see that? To like a mega deal, like $64 million guaranteed or whatever. Adam Thielen, yeah, it was like a 4-year, $64 million.
He's good.
Oh yeah, he's great. So they're not going wide receiver. They're not going running back. They got Cook. They've got Cousins. Their offense, I think, is set. I think they're going to address defense, but I don't know what. It could be linebacker, inside linebacker, maybe.
Defensive line, possibly.
But they got Anthony Barr back, right? But he's an edge rusher. Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe he's a hybrid.
They might need a defensive interior lineman. Because of
Wilkerson's gone, right?
Who got sick? The CTA thing.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear about
Remember
this.
the Vikings guy? I don't know.
I have no idea. But they had Muhammad Wilkerson, right?
Yeah.
He's out, so I could see them going interior defensive tackle here.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're in a...
Everson Griffin. He got hurt.
I didn't know about this.
Brain. I don't know.
I have no idea. I have not heard
that. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, this is the team that on offense, on paper, should be really good, but they just underperformed last year. They really underperformed.
I just think Kirk Cousins wasn't the move there.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins didn't really help
He
him.
didn't pan out the way they thought he would.
But it's okay, they're only paying him $88 million, so...
All guaranteed.
All guaranteed. Green Bay Packers, talk about disappointment. What happened?
They weren't
and Matt
trusting Mike
LaFleur?
McCarthy. I don't know why.
Why are they hiring Matt LaFleur to replace Mike McCarthy? Mike McCarthy, look, say what you will about him, but he knew how to win.
Yeah.
Now you're coming in with a guy who was like offensive coordinator like twice, and once for Sean McVay. I don't know. This team, I could totally see him going right to replace Jimmy Graham, tight end.
Nobody, you don't trust Mike McCarthy, you're going to trust this guy, Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
You're a joke.
It's just not a good situation for the Packers. Maybe it's offensive line, maybe it's tight end, maybe it's wide receiver. I think they're going to try to help Aaron Rodgers, especially with the offensive-minded coach.
It doesn't matter how good of a quarterback you are.
Yeah.
If you don't trust the play that's being called, you're not going to play well.
It's one thing to audible the line when something else comes to you.
But that could be
but when you have, reportedly at least, or what it looks like, is that Aaron Rodgers just didn't like Mike McCarthy anymore. And the Packers made the move because there was no chemistry there. You can't favor your quarterback over your coach. It's just a recipe for disaster.
Yep.
You have to have that hierarchy, and they broke it. Detroit Lions, a team on the rise, I think. Supposedly.
Especially Matt Patricia.
Matt Patricia's a fantastic coach.
Yeah.
100%. I could totally see them going for a wide receiver here. They've lost Golden Tate, or they traded Golden Tate. And then he went to the Giants.
They need to figure out a way to get Matthew Stafford in the playoffs.
Yes, has he ever been there?
I don't know.
No, once, right? He went there like a couple years ago.
I don't know.
I think he lost to the Seahawks or something.
It's just been terrible when he loses a guy like Calvin Johnson who decides to retire early and stuff like that. That's just
that was
unfortunate.
I can't believe he retired. That was just, he was in his prime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they go running back. No, they have Kenyon Drake.
Yeah. No, not Kenyon Drake.
Not Kenyon Drake.
That rookie.
From Auburn. I don't know why I said Kenyon Drake.
Forgot his name.
Whatever. But we know who we're referring to. But I think it's probably going to be receiver. Or defense.
Or defense.
Defensive line.
They signed some guy from the Patriots, right?
Trey Flowers.
Yeah.
But I can see interior for them, defensive line. They've got some good guys in the secondary. Do they still have Glover Quinn as a safety?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember. All right, moving on. New Orleans Saints. Almost a Super Bowl champ.
Yeah.
Almost.
It should have went to the Super Bowl, but no.
The refs. They have the replacement for Drew Brees for next year. It's Teddy Bridgewater. Everybody knows this now. It's Teddy Bridgewater. They have weapons all over the field.
Mm-hmm. I think they'll just go defense.
It's got to be defense. Unless they want to draft another running back to pair with Alvin Kamara.
Because of Mark Ingram's.
Because Mark Ingram's out. I mean, they're a team that doesn't have a lot of needs. They're just drafting more on what will help them the most at this point.
Get them to the next level.
Yeah. This is probably going to be their big year. They're going to just push all the chips in
for Drew Brees to try and get him the second Super Bowl.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting year for them. They're just going to draft whatever I think best fits their roster, even if they don't need it. Anything but a quarterback. It's just going to be, they could do anything, really.
Yep.
Anything at all. The Falcons, no idea what's going on down there. They drafted Calvin Ridley last year in the first round to pair with two other really good receivers. They can't do anything past 7-9, it feels like, though. I mean, after that Super Bowl, they just...
that was just heartbreaking.
Yeah, that was just rough. But no, the Falcons, they lost Tevin Coleman, right? They could go running back because...
Devontae Freeman's injury history.
Yeah. They could go defense because it's not a very good defense at all, really. Vic Beasley's like the only good player on it. They could do anything on defense, really, when you think about it.
I think they need a lot of things, and they're just going to take the best player at one of those positions.
When do you think they're going to move on from Matt Ryan?
Once that contract's up?
Because, I mean, I think we've learned our lesson from all these big contracts, and the Seahawks are going to have to learn this too. Is that when you pay a quarterback a disproportionate amount of money, that's just way too much, it hampers everything. You can't.
Tom Brady takes
all the teams team-friendly deals, right? Tom Brady wins Super Bowls with team-friendly deals. Jared Goff is on a rookie contract. All these Super Bowl winning quarterbacks.
Doesn't have a crazy amount of money.
Yeah, all these Super Bowl winning quarterbacks are on low contracts. Almost every single one. So when you pay your quarterback a ridiculous amount of money.
Aaron Rodgers.
Was he on a rookie? He was, wasn't he?
He signed on a big deal.
Yeah, I haven't. Russell Wilson, when he won, was on the rookie contract. Both Super Bowls he went to. So yeah, when you have the low contracts, I mean, you can pay them like $15 million a year. That's no problem. But when you're paying them $25 million a year, and your salary cap is $125.
You can't pay anyone else.
Yeah.
And when you have just a quarterback, you're not winning games.
No, you need a complete roster. You can't just play the quarterback game. It's never worked in the NFL. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with them. Carolina Panthers, they flopped last year. They started 4-2 and just boom.
I think they need some defense.
Yeah, defense. They're fine on offense. Cam Newton. They got DJ Moore. They've got Christian McCaffrey, who's amazing. It's got to be defense. Yeah, defense. Edge rusher, maybe it's because they lost Thomas Davis. Maybe it's corner. You know, they're just not a very good defense right now, and they need to improve that. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a lot of problems, but Bruce Arians is not one of their problems.
Bruce Arians, they hired a good coaching staff. Now they have Todd Bowles back at defensive coordinator.
This is Jameis Winston's last chance. They're not going to draft a quarterback this year for sure.
He better figure it out.
Yeah, he can't do it under. If the quarterback whisperer himself, the guy who like trained Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, everybody else, can't fix Jameis Winston, then he's got to go.
Go back to the crab legs.
Go back to the crab legs. You know, do whatever. But what do you think they need this year? Do they help Jameis Winston to start?
Got to try.
They lost to Sean Jackson. They're high enough to get Metcalf. Supposedly, at least.
Take one of the best receivers in the draft. I would.
They could
go with Mike Evans.
They could also go tackle, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
guard. I think they'll go offense.
Yeah,
just because.
Maybe they'll be the first one to take an offensive lineman in the draft.
They might be. They very well could be. LA Rams.
They don't really need much.
They lost Ndamukong Suh, so maybe defensive guy, and it's a deep defensive class.
They do another interior
second to last pick, you should have interior defensive lineman there, like maybe Christian Wilkins.
Yeah, something like that. Or Clyde Farrell if he falls that far.
Yeah, but he's more of an edge rusher, but I mean, you can pair him there anyway. Other than that, I mean, I can see them going with Nasser Adderley. They lost LaMarcus Joyner.
Yep.
But other than that, they're fine. As long as they just keep doing what they're doing, they're good. Seattle Seahawks. Offensive line, maybe?
Yeah, probably. Now they need offensive line because they signed Russell Wilson to this
crazy contract. I can see them going corner too.
$35 million per year, I think.
I know. He's the highest paid quarterback now.
He's the highest paid
in NFL history.
In the NFL.
I just don't know. I mean, I get it. The salary cap keeps going up and up, but you can't. Team building wise, it's just not smart.
No.
Russell Wilson is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
But if you pay $35 million,
what if he gets hurt?
Of the cap space, which I don't know how much is cap space now, like 90,
it's like
100.
No, it's like 130, 140, somewhere up there.
Okay, it's 35. That's a decent chunk of that 130.
Yeah.
So you only have $100 million to spend on the whole rest of the team.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, every time a quarterback signs a long-term contract like that, it just doesn't end well. It doesn't end well. I don't think it's ever ended well. Maybe a few times, but not great. Yeah, it's probably gonna be offensive line, maybe corner or something in there, just to improve the overall. I mean, Legion of Boom is gone. Maybe it's safety to replace Earl Thomas. But other than that, in the what's that?
I just got a report that Seahawks are getting some interest in trading Frank Clark, the guy that just franchised him.
No.
Yeah.
But now they don't have the money to pay him.
Exactly.
Yeah, so maybe they trade him away and draft an edge rusher, defensive end.
Maybe they trade him away to get up in the draft and to take an edge rusher.
Very possible. San Francisco 49ers, they're so close.
Yeah.
They're so close.
They're going to take Nick Bosa if he's there, but to be honest, they need some offensive line help for Jimmy Garoppolo, but they got to take Bosa.
If he's not the number one pick, which he should be the number one pick.
If he's not, you got to take him.
Then John Lynch is going to be like, oh, a perfect gift.
Yeah.
Arizona Cardinals, they don't need a quarterback. Please, Steve Keim, don't be stupid. We want to see Larry Fitzgerald have a good year for once.
Yeah.
I mean, he always has good years, but have a good team for once.
Take
Nick Bosa. They need every position aside from quarterback, basically.
Yeah.
And
Josh
Rosen may not be the guy, but it's too early to give up on him. It's way too early.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And they can't commit and then decommit within a year. It's just not right.
They committed with the coach for 1 year.
Steve Wilkes. I mean, stupid. This is how stupid teams are made. So if they don't take Nick Bosa, they are the dumbest team in football.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay. So that clears up that team needs and everything there. So now we'll go to our second and final section. Of course, we have our Nick rant at the end of the show. So I know you like doing your Nick rants. But we're going to take our mock draft. Now, let's see. We're going to do this no trades or anything predicted. Since the Giants are at 6, I'll let you pick the even numbers. Then how about that?
Okay.
You get to pick the Giants number. So starting with the Cardinals, this is a mock draft. Are we doing this based on are we doing this based on
need?
Need?
No, I think it's just.
Are we doing this based on are we doing it on what we think they should take or what we think they will take?
What they will take, I think.
They will take. Okay. So then I'll start with the Arizona Cardinals, obviously, they're number 1, and then you'll do 2, and then I'll do 3.
Okay.
I really think they should pick Nick Bosa,
but I don't think they're going to.
But they're not picking Nick Bosa. I hate to say it. They're gonna go with Kyler Murray.
It's just absurd.
It's just how it's gonna happen. So I mean, it's a dumb pick, I think, for them, in all honesty. But it's just probably gonna be the way it goes. What do you think about that? Is this like? I mean, obviously you know that's not a good idea.
It's not a good idea, but
do you agree with me that they're going to do it at this point?
They're definitely going to take him.
Okay.
They literally hired a coach for him.
Yeah. He said before if he had the first pick in the draft, he would take Kyler Murray. He has the first pick in the draft. So we're going to say Kyler Murray goes there. And number 2, you have the San Francisco 49ers.
And they just got to steal the draft.
Yeah.
And it's a number 2 pick, and they're taking Nick Bosa.
Okay. So that's pretty easy there to call. Nick Bosa, again, the best player in this draft. There's really no question there. I can't really say much about him other than he's the best player in this draft. He's a fantastic edge rusher out of Ohio State. He's a winner. In all honesty, he's a winner. At number 3, you've got the Jets there. And, I mean, they can do a lot of things, but I think they'll go Quinn what's his name again? Quinn Williams. Alabama, interior defensive end, defensive tackle. Solid player, would complement this team well, and overall, make some moves. It would be a great move for the Jets. Yeah, I think Quinn Williams is a fantastic player for them. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back for our mock draft here. And we're back. Sorry for the interruption, but we will continue with our mock drafts. Nick, you have the pick, and this is, what team is this again?
The Raiders.
The Raiders.
I think the Raiders are going to take Josh Allen to try and replace what they traded away last year with Khalil Mack.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense here. Khalil Mack went to the Bears. Josh Allen here would make a lot of sense for the Oakland Raiders. Just to, schematically, they need that outside guy. And this is a team that's trying to rebuild. They got a lot of offensive weapons in the offseason. Can definitely come in here and add a defensive one. At 5, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. This is a team that could do a lot of things. They got a lot of needs. Based on what I think they'll go for, I'll say Greedy Williams, cornerback. I mean, it's really high up for what a lot of people think Greedy Williams would do, but he's probably the best corner in this draft. You add Greedy in here, and you overall improve this defense, and you give a little bit of pressure off of Jameis Winston. You don't want him to have to do everything in a year where he's trying to prove himself. Yep. So yeah, I think Greedy Williams will be the pick here. Your team, the Giants, at 6.
At 6, a lot of people think they're taking Dwayne Haskins, but the way I think Dave Gettleman spoke the other day about how he's not going to draft for need, and he's going to draft the best player he thinks available, which is Ed Oliver. I'm going to take
Ed Oliver, okay. Ed Oliver out of Houston. What can you say about him for the Giants fans out there?
We need defensive linemen. Simple as that. We need to get to the quarterback, and he's going to help us do that.
Yeah, I mean, whoever drafts Ed Oliver is going to get a good player regardless of what team, what schematic fit he's trying to, get into. I think it would be a good pick for the Giants, but they will have to adjust the quarterback position soon.
Yeah, obviously.
So maybe it's not in the first round, maybe it's not this year at all. But they're going to have to take a look at finding Eli Manning's replacement soon. Maybe they just don't like anybody in this draft. But it's very possible that they go at Oliver instead of over Dwayne Haskins. Maybe they trade for Josh Rosen too. We'll see.
Or maybe they take Ed Oliver here and then trade that
they could.
17th pick, trade up, and
absolutely
take Haskins.
Right after them, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team last year a lot of people thought might go for a quarterback. Not so much anymore with Nick Foles. With Ed Oliver off the board, that takes away defense for them. Maybe this will start a run on some other defensive players here. I could totally see them going for a guy like Devin White out of LSU, the linebacker. I'll have them draft Devin White here. Look, fantastic linebacker, inside linebacker. They want to revitalize this defense, pair him with Miles Jack, do something in there. They could have also went with Juwan Taylor from Florida, the tackle. But I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars, they got their quarterback. They just want to add to defense now because that's what they've done for the past few years. It's really worked for them is defense. And maybe that's what they'll do again here. You've got the Detroit Lions here, sitting at number 8.
The Detroit Lions are kind of a weird team. They might need defense, but they just took Trey Flowers. They also lost Ziggy Ansah. But they also have Snacks Harrison in the middle.
Did the Giants trade them?
Yeah.
Snacks? That's right, they did.
So, I think since Matthew Stafford's not getting any younger, I think with the 8th pick, they're going to take Andre Dillard out of Washington State.
Really? Andre Dillard. Okay, over Juwan Taylor, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought...
Do you think they'll evaluate him higher than
Yeah.
Taylor? Okay. Yeah, he's a good tackle out of Washington State. A lot of people are really high on him. I don't know a whole lot about him because the Ravens aren't really focusing on tackle this year. But definitely could be a very fantastic player for them. Help Matt Stafford out. That's what I mean. They got Ricky Wagner, I think his name is.
Mm-hmm.
He played for the Ravens for a few years, but the other side, I don't know who they have over there. So tackle could be a very big addition for them. At Buffalo, number 9 here. I thought that they maybe would want to go after Ed Oliver, but that's obviously not the case here now that he's gone. You got a quarterback. You really hit your offense well. But they lost Charles Clay, the tight end. I'm going to say they go T.J. Hawkinson here, tight end out of Iowa. Over Noah Fant, of course, his teammate. But Hawkinson is a guy that a lot of people like. I think he's a generational talent at tight end. And the Bills originally probably wanted to come in addressing defense, but it's hard to pass this up, especially when some of your guys you want are gone, and Devin White and Ed Oliver, Allen Williams all gone. So, yeah, I think this would be a solid pick for them. Denver Broncos are next. Joe Flacco's over there.
Joe Flacco, they might be looking for the quarterback of the future, but I think they're just going to take Noah Fant.
That's a good pick. That's a very good pick for them. I think it's a little high for Noah Fant, but with Hawkinson gone, I mean, they just might want to get Fant right away. Solid tight end. I mean, they're both very good tight ends. Fant comes in here, helps Flacco out, loves his tight ends, gives him a chance to compete on offense. They will have to add some parts to the defense, though, I think, this year, too. Right after them, the Cincinnati Bengals. Look, they see the situation at quarterback with Andy Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
They're thinking to themselves, hey, he's not playing well. Clock's ticking. We got to get moving here. They're going to, if Haskins is not picked by the Giants, they're going Haskins. Yeah. Dwayne Haskins right here. This is a solid pick for them. I mean, I know Andy Dalton's had his good years, his good moments, but it's not working out anymore. It's just time to move on. New coach, new quarterbacks coach. It was from, he was a quarterbacks coach under Sean McVay. He's going to come in and want to start with his own guy, and Haskins might be that guy, and I think it will be if they're in this situation. What do you got about the Green Bay Packers here?
The Packers, their defense was kind of schmenz and men's here last year, so I think they're going to just go ahead, take a guy not too far from them, Rashawn Gary.
Ooh, Michigan, right? Rashawn Gary?
Michigan.
Yeah, the linebacker out of Michigan, Rashawn Gary. A lot of people like him. I think he was originally thought to be like a top 10 pick, but some people think he's going to go middle of the round now. Rashawn Gary, obviously a fantastic player. Could totally see it. Miami Dolphins up next, right?
Yep.
They're a team in the quarterback market, drastically in the quarterback market. Ryan Fitzpatrick is their starting quarterback. They might be tanking for Tua. I have no clue. So maybe they won't draft a quarterback here. You've already got Haskins and Murray off the board. You got guys like Drew Lock, Daniel Jones still on the board. This is a tough pick. But you still have Juwan Taylor available, tackle. You could pair him with Laramie Tunsil.
But then again, that's not filling a big hole out of it.
Right, but it looks like they're tanking. Yeah. So I'm going to say it's going to be Juwan Taylor. Look, maybe this wouldn't happen. Maybe they're going to take a quarterback no matter what.
Still my Giants pick.
But sorry about that. But right now, I think that they wouldn't be super high. If it's not Haskins there, I don't think they'd be super high on the quarterbacks available. I don't think that they'd be really, jumping to have Drew Lock or Daniel Jones. I mean, if Murray or Haskins was there, I think they'd jump on it. But, without that, it's just not what they can do. You've got the Atlanta Falcons here. What do you think they're going to do?
The Atlanta Falcons, I think it's too hard to pass on this guy. I think they're just going to go defense and take Brian Burns. Yeah,
that's a solid pick. I was thinking they might do that. Brian Burns, edge rusher, Florida State. Yeah, he fits right in to the Atlanta Falcons. You got to get a guy who can pair well with Vic Beasley over there. And start really elevating this Falcons defense because their offense on paper is really good, but they can't do anything without that defense over there. That's been the case for the past few years. Here we go. Washington, right? Mm-hmm. Just got Case Keenum. They're in need of a quarterback for the future. But they have a lot of needs. And I think that they're actually going to grab DK Metcalf here. He's not off the board yet. So Metcalf comes in. and he's just taken here. I mean, he slips a little bit. A lot of people think he'll be a top 10 pick. Here we have him being taken at 15 to the Washington Redskins. You think that's a solid pick for them?
Yeah, they need some weapon for Case Keenum losing.
They really only have Adrian Peterson right now, and that's their big weapon.
It's not good.
Okay, Carolina. Maybe they were interested in DK Metcalf. Probably not.
Not now.
Brian Burns off the board.
I think that they need to. They're gonna have to fix that defense. They have a couple weapons. I think they'll take Jeffrey Simmons from Mississippi State.
Really?
Inside defensive lineman.
Jeffrey Simmons.
6'3", 301 pounds. He's just going to plug a hole for them that they need.
Totally could see it. I don't know a whole lot about him, but, I mean, he's at a position they need, defensive tackle. They need to revamp that defense. I think it's a good fit. And here we go, New York Giants. So I'll be picking for them here. You know, they may have been thinking they wanted to get a quarterback here, but after, you know, both the two,
Haskins.
They can't take Haskins. They got Ed Oliver. Metcalf off the board. I don't know. This is a tough pick.
Want me to tell you who I would have picked?
Yeah, sure. It might be who I'm thinking.
Let's see. I think the Giants should take at this pick. If this all were to play out, I'd take Jonah Williams from Alabama.
Okay.
Offensive tackle.
Yeah, I'm thinking offensive tackle. I was actually thinking maybe Cody Ford instead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but Jonah Williams is
We're
probably
in the same thing.
Yeah, I'll go with Jonah Williams because he's probably going to be evaluated higher than Cody Ford.
Just because he went to Alabama.
Yeah, just because he went to Alabama, and I think he's probably He's probably, at least on my book, he'd probably be a higher one. I forgot he was even on the board still. So I'll go Jonah Williams there for the Giants. And that's the pick they got from the Odell Beckham trade.
Yep.
Minnesota Vikings. What do we got there?
They need to protect Kirk Cousins, and they're just going to take Cody Ford.
Okay, so run on tackles all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick for them. Kirk Cousins needs some help over there. You know, they could have addressed defense, but, you know, $88 million for that guy, you got to give him some help. Now we've got the Tennessee Titans that can really do a lot here. You know, they've got needs everywhere across the board here. And somehow, no one picked Christian Wilkins yet, correct?
Nope.
No. You know, I think he might go in the later round of this draft, but some people really, later end of this round, but some people really think, you know, that he's a top player in this draft, which he is a very good one. So, I'll say that Christian Wilkins is picked up here by the Tennessee Titans, and they think they get a steal here. And he's a very good player out of Clemson. Big body on the inside, helps that defense. They're really moving in a position where they want to be a running team. So at the same time, you got to build that defensive line. You got to win both lines there to be a good running team. Because it's not just about running on offense. You want to be able to stop. Yeah.
Now,
Steelers,
they got a lot of holes to fill on offense and defense, but I'm going to stay on the defensive side. And I'm going to go to pair, edge rusher from Clemson, Clelin Ferrell. I'm going to take it.
Okay, so Clelin Ferrell, they get that before the Ravens can get him. Yeah, they definitely need help on that defense. It's not a very good defense right now. Their offense, they have the next generation coming in. They got Mason Rudolph behind Ben Roethlisberger. They've got Juju. And they've got the running back whose name I'm blanking on all of a sudden, James Conner. So, you know, help out on defense. You know, it's always appreciated out there. Seattle Seahawks have this pick. You know, it's tough for me to pick the Seahawks pick. I was thinking maybe they would go tackle, but Juwan Taylor and Andre Dillard and Cody Ford and Jonah Williams, right, all off the board. So maybe they go Garrett Bradbury, offensive guard / center out of NC State. Help Russell Wilson out in that middle of the field. Oh, okay. Yeah. So they get Garrett Bradbury, and they think they can win with that. Baltimore Ravens on the clock. I'm interested to see what you would pick, because last year you were, you know, Nick Stradamus over there making the correct pick. So maybe you'll do it this year. Who do you think we're getting? It's a tough one. I know you're thinking Garrett Bradbury. There's a lot of good players still available.
This guy fell, and I think, even though they have Earl Thomas now, that they're going to take
Nasir Adderley?
Nasir Adderley.
Really?
Pair them up together.
Well, they've got Tony Jefferson there, too. But, I mean, I could see it. Because, he does...
Picture taken.
Yeah. And it's best player available.
Yeah.
And maybe they're thinking to themselves, why not, right?
Yeah.
Why not? It's very possible. I don't know if I would have done it, but I could see it. I can see it happening, especially if they are concerned about Earl Thomas's immediate future.
Yep.
Injury concerns. He is 30 years old. He could. I mean, the way his contract is structured, it's so that his pay is basically decreasing every year in guaranteed money. So they could cut him basically after this year if they had to. So it's very possible that they want to get an insurance policy on Nasir Adderley, and they passed up a safety last year that was probably a mistake in passing up Derwin James. So this year maybe not. Houston Texans, I was thinking they would go tackle here, maybe Andre Dillard, but he is off the board. This is a tough pick for me here. Basically, all these guys are gone. But I'll harken back to what we were talking about earlier. What if Jadeveon Clowney's gone?
Yep.
Montez Sweat. I mean, I'm not a super big Montez Sweat fan, but I think he would probably fit in here. Not that far from home, Mississippi State to Houston. Bill O'Brien could do some nice things with him in that defense. Overall, I think it would be a nice fit for them. And if Jadeveon Clowney stays, you pair him up next to Jadeveon Clowney, and you've got a really good pass rush. Even if he doesn't pan out to be super good, you've still got a good pass rush. So I think it's a good pick for them.
And 24, the Raiders, I think they're going to stick with defense and take Byron Murphy.
Byron Murphy, the corner. Okay. Yeah. The Raiders, they have, again, offensive weapons galore now. Build the defense. Trust the process there with Gruden. See what happens. Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to be boring. I'm going to say they're picking Josh Jacobs. Everybody's saying they're going to pick Josh Jacobs. They need a running back. Josh Jacobs, why not?
The Eagles?
Yeah.
I don't know. Didn't they just get Jordan Howard?
You're right. I forgot about that. Hold on a second. I completely forgot about that. You're right. That's right. I'm sorry. I completely forgot about that. I'll go N'Keal Harry. Let's say N'Keal Harry here. They've got Deshaun Jackson, their speed guy. They'd rather get N'Keal Harry. I completely forgot they got Jordan Howard. Yeah.
26.
Good call. 26, we have the Colts.
And they are... I think they're going to go defense.
Okay.
But the pick here is... I don't know. I'm going to think a little bit.
It's tough because...
a lot of people are gone.
Yeah. There's a big run on the beginning, and that they are a team that can improve, but at the same time, they don't have a lot of holes.
I'm going to go with Jerry Tiller from Notre Dame.
Okay.
Pair him up, see his old friend Quentin Nelson.
Yeah. Okay. What position is he again?
Defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle. Okay. Yeah, I can see it. I don't know how many people are grading him up there. A lot of people think he'll be in the early second round, but if they really love the guy, then why not, right? I'm sorry, not Oakland. Is this Oakland Raiders next? Yes. Maybe they're the ones to pick up Josh Jacobs, actually. Who's the running back in Oakland right now?
Lynch?
Yeah, Josh Jacobs then, because Lynch is going to either, if he's not gone this season, he's gone next season. Josh Jacobs here makes a lot of sense. Bring some young talent in. And, again, they already trust defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, why not?
Okay. Now,
Chargers.
28th pick the Chargers. They don't really need offense, but I'm going to go with defense and make the rich richer and draft Dexter Lawrence out of Clemson, the defensive tackle.
Very good pick. Very good pick for them. Yeah, that just makes it even better, honestly. And there's no quarterback situation Phillip Rivers is getting old, but there has not been a run on quarterbacks. Daniel Jones and Drew Lock are still there for the second round. Even they want to go with someone like Will Grier and completely out of the box, right? Definitely a good pick to pick Dexter Lawrence. Better that defensive line. It's already a good defense. Just overall a good pick there for them. Kansas City.
Dexter Lawrence is 340 pounds.
Yeah, he's huge.
Tremendous.
He's humongous. Kansas City here. I thought they might go edge rusher here, but Farrell's off the board. Brian Burns is off the board. They don't have a whole lot of options left. Is Rashawn Gary off the board? Yes. Mm-hmm. Devin White's off the board. It's a tough pick. I thought they might go with Nasser Adderley to pair next to Tyrann Mathieu since Eric Berry is gone, but can't do that anymore. So I mean, if the LA Chargers are going to make themselves the rich get richer, I'm going to say the Kansas City Chiefs make themselves rich getting richer and draft A.J. Brown, wide receiver out of Ole Miss, to pair with Mahomes, and all the other weapons. They still have Tyreek Hill over there, and just really stack that offense even further there. He's a fast guy, can make a lot of great catches. Would be an overall solid pick for them. Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay, I'm going to go with defense again with them.
Okay.
And take,
So no help at the tight end position with Irv Smith? Okay. I didn't think Irv Smith would be going here either, but some people say he will. How'd they get this pick, actually?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Was it Haha?
It must... Did they trade Haha?
Remember to the Redskins, but I don't know. Who's it? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I'm taking Deandre Baker.
Okay. Deandre Baker.
For a cornerback from Georgia. They just need to fill a hole, fill a void.
Yeah. Up next, you got the Los Angeles Rams. Not a lot of holes. So I could see them going really in either direction here. Jonah Williams is off the board, right? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they might go after defensive tackle, but all of them are really off the board now that are going to be first rounders. I'm going to say they reach up and get Taylor Rapp from Washington. Only because they lost LaMarcus Joyner. I think they could...
Rapp, like a rap?
Rapp, like not with a W.
Okay.
R-A-P-P, Rapp. Yeah, I can see them grabbing at safety because LaMarcus Joyner's gone, and they really don't have a lot of holes. Defensive tackle probably would have been their pick, but all the first-round guys are gone. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, New England Patriots, the last pick. You have the clock.
Okay. The Patriots, I don't see them taking the quarterback unless they absolutely love him. They're not going to take him.
Not here.
And they're just going to take a professional pick here. Like, normally, and he's going to become the best player at their position in the league.
Who is it?
Michael Dieter out of Wisconsin.
Really? That's a totally Patriots pick. That's a Patriot pick all the way.
And they'll win their 7th Super Bowl.
I wouldn't doubt it at this point. They keep winning and no one can stop them, so... Not even Sean McVay could stop them.
Not even Sean McVay.
So, yeah. Well, that'll conclude...
Not even the refs could stop him.
Not even the refs could stop him. Good point. So that concludes this mock draft. Just to recap, we had Kyler Murray going 1 to the Cardinals. To the San Francisco 49ers, Nick Bosa. Quinn Williams at 3 to the Jets. Josh Allen went 4 to the Niners, right? Yep. I'm sorry, not... Was it the Niners who had the... No, Oakland. I don't know what I'm doing here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers grab Greedy Williams. Ed Oliver to the Giants. The Jaguars get Devin White. Andre Dillard goes over to Detroit. The Buffalo Bills get T.J. Hawkinson. Noah Fant at 10 to Denver. Dwayne Haskins gets picked up by the Bengals. Rashawn Gary at 12 goes to the Packers. You've got Jawan Taylor going out to Miami. Brian Burns going to Atlanta. DK Metcalf getting picked up by the Washington Redskins at 15. Jeffrey Simmons getting picked up to Carolina. Jonah Williams going to New York after they picked up Ed Oliver with their first pick. Cody Ford heading to the Vikings to help out Kirk Cousins. Christian Wilkins getting swapped up by the Tennessee Titans as a steal. Steel City getting Clelin Ferrell. Edge rusher out of Clemson. Garrett Bradbury getting swooped up by the Dolphins before the Ravens can pick him. And you've got Nasser Adderley being picked by the Ravens in an upset pick. Montez Sweat going to the Houston Texans. The Oakland Raiders getting Byron Murphy. Philly grabbing N'Keal Harry to pair with Deshaun Jackson. Tillery goes to the Indianapolis Colts. The Oakland Raiders grab Josh Jacobs, future running back. Dexter Lawrence going to the Los Angeles Chargers. A.J. Brown making the Chiefs richer at the wide receiver position. Deandre Baker heading over to Green Bay. Taylor Rapp to replace LaMarcus Joyner in L.A. And, of course, the Patriots getting Dieter to wrap up the first round. It's
okay. Yeah, I'm just going to go into this.
All right, what are you going to say? Is this your rant?
It is.
All right, what do you got for us today?
What are the Cardinals doing, Chris? Can you explain this to me?
I don't think anybody knows. I don't think anybody knows.
This is ridiculous.
I mean, we've touched on them all episode here. No one really understands.
Who's their general manager?
Steve Keim.
It is baloney that you got to pass on that DUI. Absolute baloney. And you know what? If I get a DUI, I'm going to the clinic. But since you're the general manager of the Cardinals, you get a pass. And now you get a second chance, and you're going to blow it and fire your one-year head coach.
Well, did he fire him or did the owner fire him?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He had a role in it.
Yeah, obviously.
And hire Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury, who had a losing record at Texas Tech. That's disgusting. I'm enamored. I cannot believe it.
I agree.
It is bad. It is terrible.
It is bad. It's very bad.
It's terrible. And now they're going to draft Kyler Murray, a 5'9" quarterback. He won't be able to see over your offensive line.
It's very possible.
And what are you going to do with Josh Rosen? Didn't they trade up to get him?
I don't remember, honestly.
Know, but they got Josh Rosen there. He thinks he's going to be a franchise quarterback, which he could be. And you're going to take Kyler Murray when the best pick in the draft is Nick
Generational
Bosa.
Talent.
Generational
He might be better than his brother, Joey Bosa.
Is right there for you. Nick Bosa. How dare you disrespect your organization like that? You are a joke to the league. Should be disgusted. I just can't believe it. The Arizona Cardinals used to be respected, I believe, at some point.
Now
the way that they're treating Larry Fitzgerald, the way that they're treating their quarterback, the way they're treating their fans, what a joke going on in this desert. You're a joke.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You're a joke, Arizona.
I feel bad for those Cardinals fans. Yeah, they know it's just. They just know nothing's happening. It's just not good. So yeah, that'll wrap up our episode with our Nick rant there. Thank you as always for listening to the Goal Line Stands podcast. We'll probably be doing some sort of post-draft, sometime in May, probably a post-draft review, go over some of the things that happened and maybe any other free agent pickups and trades that happened along the way. Any last words, Nick, aside from that rant? And close it out? Yep.
Nope, but Arizona figured it out.
Yeah, so that'll be it for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I'm Chris Linfante from Goal Line Stands Podcast and BaltimoreFeather.com, here with my co-host Nick Sparber, signing out. Have a great draft, everybody, and we'll see you after it.
Happy Easter.
And happy Easter.